What was the hardest part of losing your leg? The physical pain or the identity shock?
They drove me down to the operation and they cut off my leg. It took them 4 hours, and hours later, of course, I woke up and the first thing I noticed was that my blanket was totally flat on the left side. So after a couple of hours, I tried to find all the courage I could find in every cell of my body, because I needed to lift my blanket, and that would be that the rest of my life. That was the hardest moment in my life. And I had all these questions. What will be of me? What about my future? What about work, girlfriend, wife, children, family? What can I do? I felt totally hopeless. But nobody helped this young teenager with what was going on in his head. So I lost a leg, but I totally lost my identity. I couldn't see any future. And then 1 year later, I got a swimming coach. We started swimming. She was so nice and so sweet, and I was in love with her, without her knowing, of course. And there, a whole new world opened up for me.
Hello to everyone. In this episode, we will explore resilience, identity reconstruction, discipline, pain, and meaning through lived experience. Today's story brings us into the heart of metacognition, that quiet moment where we become aware of how we think about loss, identity, and possibility. My guest is Gert Rune Jespersen, whose life changed radically as a teenager. He went on representing Denmark at the Olympic Games, and later on completed an Ironman, a journey that actually reshaped his identity. Well, happy to have you here today.
Thank you very much. And I'm very, very happy to be able to participate and share my views and my life, what I have learned, the ups and downs of my life. So I'm very glad for you to ask me to come here.
It's a pleasure, really. Thank you. So, can you please tell us what actually happened when you were 16? And who were you before the accident, and who did you suddenly become after it? Thank you.
I was not even a normal 16-year-old teenager. I was not that grown up. I hardly left the playing part when you are a child, and I just started in the club, dancing, looking for girls, relationships, etc. I hardly was. My friends did that, but that was not where I was. I grew up in a very small city in the countryside, a small village, and I was not very extrovert. I was I was shy. I don't think I wasn't extrovert, because in school I did take my part, but when it came to the rest of my life, I didn't. So I was shy, and I grew up in the western part of Denmark, where you don't share your feelings, you don't share your thoughts, you don't share your dreams. And I was, even though I was 16, I was maybe like a 13, 12-year-old, something like that. In the western part of Denmark, it's the environment is like that. My parents grew up in the same environment, and so you don't talk about how you are, how was it in school, what are your dreams. You just don't talk about it.
I have seen it all over Denmark, so I'm not sure, but I don't think it's just in that part of Denmark, to be honest.
No, maybe not, but it's especially in that part, and especially in the countryside. My parents, I did not, but my parents grew up in a very religious families.
Mm-hmm.
They were very religious, especially on my father's side. And I had both my parents when I grew up, and they lived happily, and so they were not divorced or anything, but you just don't talk about it. It's if you don't say something, everything is perfect.
Yeah, I noticed.
If you say what's the direct opposite? The direct opposite is the Italian way with hey, and how are you? And when you're discussing,
Definitely not.
no, but it's we Danes, we think that the Italian are like that. So, and also if we Danes see Italians on the street discussing, we think they are fighting.
Yeah, definitely. That's such a good example. Yeah,
But
definitely.
but they are not. Whereas if you talk with Danish people on the in the western part where I grew up, your body language is almost nothing.
Exactly.
You can't see, you can't hear, you can't feel. How are they? What's going on? You have no chance because they tell you nothing.
What I really wanted to ask you or express was actually this main part that is really hard, not being a Dane, to understand, because you don't have that body language that actually can give you some signs somehow, somewhere, and that's why I was asking. So thank you for bringing this subject, because I think it's really, really important for many, many internationals that they are living in Denmark.
Yeah, and it was so when I grew up as a teenager, and now when I'm adult and being myself, I have a much bigger and expressing myself much bigger. And even though I speak the language perfect in the Western part, I'm also a motivational speaker. So when I'm speaking in that part, my only advantage is that I'm speaking the language, because they definitely think that I'm too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see it in the eyes. When I'm speaking, the audience is sitting like this.
Oh,
And sometimes 50, 60, 80% of the audience is sitting like this for 1 hour or more.
From the moment that you just wrap your hands like this in a cross, you are already, as a body language, you're already close. You close yourself, you are not open to it.
It's true, but you have also to think about that many of my speeches are in companies, and they are not there. They are not there at my speech voluntarily. They are forced to be there.
Okay, now I got it. Okay.
Because it's during working hours. So therefore, but you can be surprised. 3 months ago, I was in the western part. I was definitely on the countryside, and they were very open, but they were also younger people.
Okay.
It's mostly from
Gen
50,
Z
50 years and up. The younger people, they luckily, and I'm very glad to say that they open much more up.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
they are much more open, and I think I don't know if it's because of the social media, etc., but they're much more open.
Again, let's come back a tiny bit of the main question, initial question. Can you please tell us what happened when you were 16 at this point? Because we have talked about before that age.
I was living in the countryside with my parents, going in the 9th grade primary school in Denmark, and then suddenly one day I could not bend my leg. I could not bend my left leg as much as my right leg, meaning that something must be wrong. So my mom sent me to the house doctor, and he took a look at my leg, and there was something wrong. So he could see that. So he sent me to X-ray at the small hospital in the town. And the day after, the X-ray came back with comments from the X-ray doctor. And the house doctor called my mom, and he said, Gert is going to be registered, going into the hospital nearby in Esbjerg. which is a region, the biggest hospital in the region. And I didn't know what was going on, and my mom also not. So they took me to scanning, they took me to X-ray, they took blood samples, they took a lot of different samples, but nobody told me anything. At the end of the day, there was this doctor came into the room and told my mom and me, Gert, you're going to be transferred to the second biggest hospital in Denmark, which is Aarhus, a university hospital, and they know you're coming. So 2 days later, my mom and me, we drove there. There was a 3-hour drive. We drove there, and I felt nobody. My mom didn't say anything, but her body language told it all. My mom, she was worried. She didn't say anything. She didn't ask anything, but she was worried. So we came into this conference room, but there was 2 doctors sitting down. We sat down at a round table, and one of the doctors said, Gert, you have a tumor on your left leg. And I didn't know what a tumor was, but my mom, she was crying. We're gonna take a sample. So tomorrow we are taking you to the OP. So the next day they took me to OP, and the day after I woke up after the morphine, and they came to me and they said in the older days in Denmark there was every morning the doctors and the nurses, they walked around for every room to see how the patients were, etc. And then in the morning there came a doctor and a nurse and said to me, this afternoon we'll let you know what's gonna happen. There'll be a professor, so a special doctor, coming and telling you. And they also called for my dad. So he stopped working, drove also to Aarhus, and then at this hospital room, we waited, and we waited. I was laying in my bed, just had this small operation. My parents, they didn't say anything. They could not sit still.
Not even in those moments?
No, they didn't say anything. They could not sit down, so they because they were nervous, obviously. So they tripped around, but you could hear a needle fall down on the floor. Nobody said anything. We waited for hours.
Sorry, but did you had any symptoms before all this happened?
No, no pain.
Not at all.
No symptoms. I could walk on my leg. I could run on my leg. Actually, 3 months before I started running 3 times a week. 3 months before it happened. So I have no signs.
So
no signs at all.
You were having also a really healthy and good lifestyle also before that happened, actually, right?
Yeah,
so you were running, doing sport or whatever.
No, not doing sports, but I was running, and I was
okay.
I was living in the countryside, so we were outside a lot when it was even a summer, winter, all year around. We were outside. I was biking to school. That was normal then. So there was no sign at all or anything. And then suddenly there, it was only 1 week after I discovered I couldn't bend my leg. So we were in this hospital room. My parents were nervous. Nobody said anything. We waited for hours, and suddenly the door opened. A professor came in, and I thought, he looks like Einstein. He had this big curly hair and these thick glasses, and he was he had definitely a big authority. You could feel his authority. He said hello, and then he said, Gert, you got bone cancer. Just like that. I didn't know what it was. I had no clue at all. Nobody ever told me what cancer was. But my parents, they were devastated. My parents, they were in shock. My dad, he cried. And I have never in 16 years seen my dad cry. Never. And now he's crying. Then I knew, okay, this is really, really serious. The professor continued, you're going to have 4 times chemotherapy. And then he told me 8 words I'll never forget. You're going to have a normal life. And I thought, normal life? What does he mean? I have a normal life. I have a normal life. Why is he saying that? The week after, I was laying in chemotherapy, and that was really, really, really tough. I threw up. I started puking, and within 12 hours, I threw up or puked 50 times.
Oh my God.
I was totally exhausted. My mom drove me home from the hospital, and the next week I didn't do anything other than sleeping and puking. And then the week after, I slept, I don't know, 15, 18 hours a day, and I could do nothing. I had no energy. Week 3, I started eating a little bit, but in week 3, so I had 14 days without eating anything. And if I drank a glass of water, it went maximum 15 minutes. It came up again. And then that happened 4 times with a month in between. And it was physical, the hardest thing I ever tried. I couldn't, still not, there was no pain from the tumor, from the cancer. But after 4 months, my mom and me were sitting in the car on the way to Aarhus again, to the university hospital, because now we're gonna get the message. And I don't think I understood the professor the first time, because he said something like, I hope we can save your leg. But this 16-year-old, or rather 12-year-old boy, he didn't understand anything about that. But my mom and me came into the professor, and he was looked even more serious than the first time we went in and talked to him. And he said to me, now the tumor is very big. It's like a big fist. So we have no chance to get it away in an operation. So unfortunately, we have to cut your leg off in 2 days.
Oh my God, I'm so shocked. It's like, this is really huge.
Yeah. And cut my leg off. What did he mean? Without a leg, you have no life, or with only one leg. I have no clue what to expect. And the strange part was I had no pain. I could run. I could walk. I could do everything on my leg. But in my head, I understood that this cancer thing, which I never felt, I couldn't see it, was very dangerous. And if they didn't cut my leg off, it will spread into my organs, into my lungs. And in 12 months, I'll not be here if they don't cut my leg off now. So I was really sad. I cried. I felt hopeless. I felt this is the end. There's nothing left. How would my life be with only one leg? With only one leg, you have no life. You are not able to do anything.
So what was the hardest part of losing your leg? The physical pain or the identity shock?
We come to that.
Mm.
So 2 days later, they drove me down to the operation and they cut off my leg. It took them 4 hours. And hours later, of course, I woke up. And the first thing I noticed was that my blanket was totally flat on the left side. Of course, I was confused after operation and morphine. So after a couple of hours, I tried to find all the courage I could find in every cell of my body, because I needed to lift my blanket and see that my left leg is now 25 centimeters, 10 inches, and that will be that the rest of my life. That was the hardest moment in my life. And I had all these questions. What will be of me? What about my future? What about work, girlfriend, wife, children, family? What can I do? I felt totally hopeless. After 3 weeks in the hospital, a physiotherapist came and showed me how to walk with only one leg and 2 crutches. They were very friendly, showed me how to take a shower, get clothes on, etc., etc. But nobody helped this young teenager with what was going on in his head. So I lost a leg, but I totally lost my identity. Because I was shy before, I had no self-confidence, but this was even worse. I couldn't see any future. So after 3 weeks later, they sent me home. And I was home for a week or 2, and that was okay. So 1 month had passed, and I was getting a little bit used to my physical handicap, but my identity was totally. I did not have as much identity before, but now I was a zero. I was nothing worth. So after 2 weeks, and I felt a little bit confidence, comfortable at home, but my mom said to me, "You're going to school again." To school? Are you crazy? Haven't you seen how I look? I have only one leg. I cannot go to school like this. But of course, you cannot sit at home for the rest of your life. Or you can, but that will be a very, 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 very lonely
Sad
life.
Yeah.
So lonely and sad life. So I went to school. My mom.
Did you had any psychological help here? Because I mean, like,
No.
I wonder, what?
Nobody.
This is really, really, really bad.
Yeah,
Really.
there was no priest at the hospital to help me. There was nobody coming and visiting me. There was no psychological help. There was nothing. Help of was what happened in my life, what happened to me mentally. There was no help at all, and I was there with in an environment where nobody talked about it. It was just It was just the way it is, and nobody asked me how I was. Nobody helped me. So I started, and my mom drove me to the school, and honestly, it took me 3-4 minutes before I got the courage to open the door, and I went out with only one leg and 2 crutches. I passed the other students going to my classroom. Everybody looked at me as was I Frankenstein. That was not a very nice feeling.
Yeah.
No, not absolutely not.
See, education and information, they are so very important in most of all in situations like this, and most of all among teenagers, because they are still growing up, and we can help them so much better by giving them this free choice still, but the right informations on at least on specific themes and stuff in order for them to understand,
That, of course, they knew that they have
what happened.
amputated my leg. They knew that, but nobody
Knew how to
knew how to handle it. In Denmark, you have a teacher responsible for the class, and she was not very good at talking about it. My parents was also not very good. I couldn't talk about it. I was only a shy teenager, not even 16 years old. I was maybe 12. So I was in this environment, and I felt like an alien, because nobody understood me, and deep inside, I was still Gert. Now I only had one leg instead of 2, but I was still Gert. So it was a crazy period. The next 3 months, I had 3 friends. They tried to visit me the next month, and they did for the next 3 months. But after that they stopped. It was so strange being with them, because nobody
around
talked.
them, you mean, most of all?
Yeah, around them and with them, because nobody talked about the elephant in the room. Nobody. So I still went to school, of course. That's is obligatory in Denmark. And then I came home, and then I played the computer games.
And you still didn't have any psychological help?
No.
Oh my goodness, this
Nobody.
is
Nobody.
so bad. Oh my.
And the local authorities in Denmark, called the Kommune, they visited me very fast, because they wanted to ask how they could help, and if there was if they could help me with some
Anything at all?
special physical
But
aid.
not psychological or
No. Nothing about what's going on in my brain
oh my God.
and in my heart. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I'm so angry about this, and it's not even my story, but it seems like that is also part of me, while you are just saying your story, because it makes me so angry to hear something like that, because it's so important to have in any circumstances psychological help from an expert as such. It is very important. It's not that you are a weak person. It's not that you are less than others. If you ask or go to a psychologist, it's a good thing. And not having even that help from provided by the system, it makes me not only sad, but even angry, to be honest. I have been through this reality as well, that in Denmark, I noticed that this part of the psychological aid as such is not kind of mandatory. it should be included when you need it, but in Denmark it's not, for example. So I'm just saying that at least in certain circumstances, it should be really included for people who actually. How can you just not need a psychological aid, like help? It's impossible.
It's crazy that you have that there's no support in that.
Yeah. Did you realize that life would never go back to before, actually, while you were at school, or during that
Yes,
period of time?
I realized that very soon. That I realized really soon that life will never be the same. But from there on, then to seeing the possibilities, the opportunities for my future was a long way. I did not live, I survived. And as my friends did not come and visit me anymore, it was really hard. So I was lonely, but without feeling it, because I didn't know myself very well then. I could not feel myself because of the environment I grew up in. So it was, I was lonely, but I didn't feel it because I didn't know better.
I just think that you weren't aware of, because you didn't allow yourself to feel. Our brain tends to protect ourselves, right? And it's whenever we might feel as feelings that we are at risk, and our brain automatically starts to protect us. Because of also you weren't raised in that environment where you actually could share your feelings or thought, became part of you. And it's hard from a certain point to just flip the coin, and just, it's not that it's changing overnight. It's a path, it's a process. So I mean, it's like, it's just not easy, but it's not impossible.
Yes, but you must understand that I was not very good at reflecting. Because I was not very mature. I wasn't hardly a teenager. And growing up in this environment where nobody asks you how you are, so I never tried to feel and ask myself, how are you? How are you feeling? I grew up in an environment where you just don't talk about it. So I was not reflecting about how I was.
How did you learn to live with the pain without letting it define you as such?
Well, what happened was that months went by, going to school and then coming home and playing computer games. And then my mom, she was so clever that she could see this will lead to no future for Gert. So one day she came in, I was playing a computer game, and as you know, teenagers playing computers, it's very, very difficult to get in contact with them. And so I was playing computer, and my mom came in and told me that she registered me for a disabled swimming club. And I said to her, yeah, that's okay. So go away, disappear. I'm very occupied here with my computer game, of course. So I never, and as I said, I was not very good at reflecting. So a couple of days later, I came back from school, came home, and then my mom said, today we're going to the swimming pool. And I had no idea who was at such a club. There was no handicapped or disabled persons in my family, so I didn't know what to expect. I was not very good at reflecting, so I have made no thoughts at all for this experience. So she drove me down to the swimming pool, and of course I opened the door into the main hall. I went to the boys. what do you call it? Change rooms. I opened the door, and there, on the benches, there was arms and legs spread all over the place.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I just got my new robotic leg, but there for the first time for, I don't know, almost 1 year, I found out, okay, I'm not the only one in the world missing one leg. So, and it was,
It's there that it's kind of started that self-awareness slowly is from that point, or it was another
no, from there, from there it there was it was like I was crossing a border. From there I knew, okay, I'm not the only one, because I felt so lonely. I felt so strange, just felt like an alien compared to other normal teenagers. And there I saw, okay, there are people in the world, in Denmark, just like me.
So from that point of view, it kind of started, might be also that part of acceptance and not refusing to see yourself in a certain way.
No, that the acceptance did not start there. But I started feeling a part of a group again.
Okay.
Instead of being lonely, I started seeing that, okay, now I'm part of a group. We are different, but we are not aliens. We are not strange. We are just different from other people with 2 legs and 2 arms. So that was a big shift. And fast forward, we just make a lot of playing in the pool. Was not serious at all. And then 1 year later, I got a swimming coach, and she was very serious. So we started swimming, and she was also a person trying to get us to cross borders and do new things. So one day she said, Gert, I think why don't you participate in a swimming competition? That would be great for you. I have never done sports. I was a shy guy, a teenager, and I was only playing computer games. But she was so nice and so sweet, and I was in love with her, without her knowing, of course. So I said, yes, maybe. And there, a whole new world opened up for me.
Wow.
Not only was there a lot of black humor, which there's a lot in that environment, but also I saw many people. And then after some months, and we participated in some regional competitions, and it was always the same. I won every competition, but I was only 1 out of 1. so slowly your motivation will
Motivation goes,
decrease and fall into absolutely nothing. But she never gave up. So she said to me 1 year later, Gert, we're going to the national championships. That would be great. That's just for you. That's what you need.
Oh my.
But I'm coming with you, she said. Okay, I will go. And then at the first national championship, I won 2 gold medals.
Ooh.
And I was not only 1 out of 1. I was 1 out of many.
Wow. Congratulations. I mean, really, this is so huge, really.
Yeah, it was really huge for me, because also these 2 gold medals, it was not about the gold medal
Yeah, provided to you kind of to start again working on the self-confidence and also, I suppose, isn't it? I mean,
But yes, exactly, because now the medals was a physical proof of that I was something worth. I was I was somebody. I was not nobody. I was somebody. And then I started the swimming. It felt it was hard, but I liked it. I was motivated. So from once a week, it was 3 times a week, and then it was 5 times a week. And of course, when you start something and you train a lot, you get much better. So the year after, I got 4 gold medals.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
the national team coach came to me and asked me if I wanted to join the national team for disabled swimmers. And of course, I said yes. And that saved my life.
Sport for me, at least for me personally, gave me so much, but it gave me more than it took. And I think that when you are a teenager, most of all, because I also start very, very soon, you go like in so many countries or cities because you have to play, you have your competitions. You might lose, you might win, you have your companions, you have your team, you have so many scenarios. That's what I'm saying. That actually can give you so many point of views of how is life or how it might be or become or how you might become as well. So it's very interesting to live in an environment like sport environment. I think it's really, really different as just not doing sport at all.
Definitely. And for me, it was, of course, I participated in a lot of competition. We visited most countries in Europe. I participated at the Paralympics, which of course was a great, great experience. But that was not the best. The best was that at the national team I had role models that showed me that anything is possible, even though you have a handicap or you're disabled. So your limiting beliefs are only in your head.
Absolutely. So, for example, what does discipline mean to you beyond training and routines? Because we also talk about that if we talk about sport, but also in life in general.
Actually, it can sound strange, but actually, I'm very lazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
and how come I say that? I'm lazy if what I'm doing has no purpose. For example, later today, I'm going to the fitness center. I'm only going to the fitness center because I have a friend there, my training partner, because my brain does not understand why I'm going to the fitness center because it's boring. I know it's good for my health in 30 years, blah, 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 blah. But I'm very purpose driven, meaning that that was also the reason why I completed an Ironman with one leg, because I have done a lot of swimming. I have swimming, open water swimming. I was at the Paralympics. I've done more or less everything possible in the swimming. So I need a new challenge.
Ooh.
But when
And you just thought, oh, okay, let's try this.
yeah, but when I have a goal, then I get motivated. Because then there's a purpose.
Yeah,
if I have a purpose, then I get motivated. So my discipline comes from purpose and purpose only.
On the days when motivation, for example, was gone, because it might happen to everyone, I mean, what kept you moving at that point? That purpose, actually, or what?
Purpose. when you're training for Ironman, you have.
How was that experience, by the way?
That was great, and
I didn't have doubts.
it was totally crazy. I was in a triathlon club swimming twice a week. So that's where I started. And these triathletes, that was because of the time they were training were very good times for my schedule. And the age was the same as mine, more or less. And I fought for many, many months. I fought these triathletes. They are totally insane.
I heard.
How can you voluntarily participate in a competition where you not only swim, you also bike, and after the biking, you also run? Then you must be totally insane. But only 2 years went by, and then I started also having this craziness, because a friend of me asked me, "Hey Gert, I need you on a team, so you can swim." And the other friend from the club, he was biking, and I will run myself.
So it's not because you wanted to prove yourself something or to someone in particular. It just happened. But then why
No.
you said yes?
So then I participated in this this competition. I started. I swam my part, of course, and then I gave over the stafette to the next one, and of course was back up for him and cheering for him, and then. During this day, there was really a fantastic environment with music, and it was just like a big party the whole day. There was speakers telling me, "Oh, now he is coming, and this is spectacular," etc., etc. And then a couple of years later, I was with some friends from the triathlon club in Copenhagen. We had 3 training friends who should complete an Ironman, and honestly, Ironman, that is totally insane.
Yeah, I heard. Literally, you're so right.
You swim 3.8 kilometers, you bike 180 kilometers, and then you finish with a marathon. How crazy is that? And I thought, Jesus, they are totally insane. But I was there in this environment the whole day. Together with 8 other people. We also, it was very, very nice to be together and cheer for our colleagues, our friends on the route. And then this crazy idea came into my mind. Can I complete an Ironman with only one leg? And I couldn't bike, and I couldn't run. So I can only swim the 3.8 kilometers. The rest I could not. But for me, it was a challenge. And after some time, I thought, okay, I will do that. I will try. And it's a long story, so we don't have that today. But so in the beginning, it was a challenge for me, because then there was a purpose for my training. But it was a big challenge to find a bike that I could bike on. Also because my left leg is my limb is only 25 centimeters, meaning I cannot bike on a normal bike. So it's a big challenge.
So,
and in the beginning, it was a challenge for me. I will prove it can be done. So that was the purpose in the beginning. But then after some time, I found out that I started speaking there. And as a speaker, of course, I also told about this crazy idea, this crazy dream. And then I started getting followers. And when I got followers, suddenly it was not about me anymore. Suddenly I inspired a lot of other people.
It's like a mission more than it's beyond purpose. It became
exactly.
like a mission. Yeah.
Exactly, because then it's contribution.
Exactly.
To show what you can do.
Yeah.
And not being limited with my missing leg.
Yeah, definitely.
So then suddenly it was not about me, but it was about other people.
Yeah. Where do you believe real limits actually lives in the body or in the mind then?
Most of your limits are in your mind.
Uh-huh.
And then that is for if you're gonna do some crazy sports, if you're gonna do some crazy things in your career, if you are going to be a speaker or anything you're going to do, it's in your main, and it's mainly in your brain. And your brain is not built. The part of our brain has not been updated the last 100,000 years.
So true, yeah.
Because when you have a dream, what happens? What is the first thing that happens? The first thing that happens if you got an idea, just a crazy idea like mine, or you have your dream, the first thing that happens is not 10 things you can do immediately. No. The first thing that happens when you have a crazy idea is 10 limiting beliefs why it is not possible.
I mentioned earlier, our brain, it was created since the very first beginning to protect ourselves. We have to at least consider, to notice, stop, pause, and notice our patterns, So that's the thing, because it starts from there.
Your potential is so big.
Yeah, I agree.
If you follow your dream and you don't let your limitations
define you in any case in every
define and take
corner
over.
of your life.
Yeah.
Well, if you do not do that, then you will definitely will live with regrets. And regrets, trust me, I do believe that they are eating you from inside, like literally piece by piece, until the day that you will die, in that sense. So, not for me, at least, no, thank you. Thank you, but no, thank you.
I have never regretted anything in my life. The only thing I have regretted is the things I did not do.
I agree. Same here. Thank you.
Has there been many things where I got clever and poor? There, absolutely. But it gives you experience.
Yes, definitely.
And suddenly you are 85 or 90. You are sitting at a nursing home, and you have no possibility to live again.
Yeah,
it's over. Almost. Yeah. It's almost over.
At that point of your life, you only had regrets.
Yeah,
from my perspective, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what does responsibility mean to you today?
I think that you are responsible to contribute in society. Some people have used a big potential to contribute a lot. Some people do not have that many resources and can contribute a little, but I think that contribution is the purpose of life.
I agree.
Purpose of life is not your bank account.
I thank you for saying that. I absolutely share with you the same thoughts. Yeah, definitely.
Also because contributing is, you can never get happier than contributing to help other people, support other people, inspire other people. You can have no bigger purpose than contributing.
How has your definition of success changed over the years after all these experiences, one after another?
For example, when I participated in the Paralympics, I qualified as the third fastest person in the world for my event. But and we were 40 in my class. Handicapped are, of course, classified in different sports, also swimming, of course. We were 40, and the other participants, they also trained back home, which was not which was unfair, I think. But so my goal was not to be to get a bronze medal, because I thought I think that was impossible. But my goal was to participate in the finals, which was the first 8. But mentally, then I was not very strong. I was physically in the best shape of my life, but mentally I was not strong. So the night before, I had this very important 400-meter freestyle swimming. I have been swimming this 400 meters 20 times. So, and I didn't hardly sleep. So when I went into the pool, I always was tired. So I was number 10 out of 40, which most people will say, oh, that's very good. But for me, it was a failure. It was a big, big failure.
Really?
I used all my money, all my spare time for 3 years to be number 10. It was a big failure, and I felt, I really felt like a big failure.
What place doesn't have failure into your life then? Because I'm curious.
But failure is only a feeling. Because then years later, I had a mental trainer, and he asked me, and I told about this, and I felt very sorry and very bad. And he said to me, okay, let me ask you a question, Gert. How many people do you know who participated in the Olympics? Nobody. Okay. Was it a big experience? Was it a life-changing experience? Definitely. Okay, so shall we see it that way? It was a big success.
Turning point by changing the perspective as such, right?
Yeah, and actually it was not only big, it was a great success, because the opening ceremony at the Olympics, or the Paralympics, and it's names for disabled, it was of the anniversary of the 6th year where they cut off my leg. That was the opening ceremony day.
Wow.
So was that a big success? Of course it was. So failure is only a feeling, and there's a saying, quitters never win, and winners never quit.
That's so lovely. I like this one.
And I studied the successful people for many, many years, and people, they think it's very in some ways our brain is very strange wired, because when we do something for the first time, our expectations are that we should be a world champion the first time.
Yeah, definitely.
What is the chance that you are a world champion the first time? Absolutely zero.
Yeah.
But that's our expectations.
Yeah, that's another point here, very interesting point, actually, I would say, that expectations usually, and most of the time, they are not a good thing to embrace as such, or create, add, whatever into your life, because it cannot give you a really good perspective, or many other perspectives, at least from that point of view. From the moment that you just put aside the expectations, you definitely can have a more broad view from so many angles, different angles. That's the whole thing.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. What do you hope people feel when they hear your story, but not to think, but to feel?
I hope they feel inspired. I hope my purpose is to give hope and courage to people to follow their dreams. That's my purpose.
Wow.
And I know that you, listener, or if you see this on a video, I hope that you have this experience. I hope I can inspire you to follow your dreams the whole way through and never, ever quit.
Ooh, I have my goosebumps.
Because your life, you have so much potential, and 99% of your limitations are the limiting beliefs that are in your head. So surround yourself with people that support you, and the people that does not support your dreams, you have to spend very less time with, because they will kill your dreams. And most dreams, after you get an idea, after you get a dream, your brain will start thinking how, and that will also kill your dream. So your brain will start with how, and what can go wrong. So the limiting beliefs, the limitations. That is where your dream is starting. If you can see through and neglect these two things, you will be on your way. And then one step at a time. And one small step today is better than 10 steps in a month.
Yeah,
one small step, just one small step. Most people, they overestimate what they can do in a month, but they underestimate what they can do in 2, 3, 5 years.
Now, I would like to share with you something. So I have created, among other things, a specific questionnaire for my subscribers, strictly connected to this episode. And I just asked them simply, what is the hardest part of a coming back? And I gave them 3 options to answer, to respond. The first one was shifting your mindset. The second one was physical endurance. And the third one was letting go of the old identity, which I thought they're all connected, strictly directed to this podcast episode. And just for you to know, the 80% of them, actually 78, almost 80%, they answer shifting your mindset. So for them, what is the hardest part of a coming back is to shift your mindset. What do you think about that?
I think that shifting your mindset is easy. And when I say it's easy, I know it's not easy. But what you must do, I think your questions, by the way, I think your questions are great questions.
Thank you.
Because your mindset and your limiting beliefs are because you don't believe in your new identity.
Exactly.
Because and I am so fortunate that visualization, I have done that self-taught. I don't even need to get a teach to learn it. It's self-taught, meaning, and that have helped me a lot.
Like
and the first time,
self-educated in that way, right? Self-educated, right?
Yeah, self-educated. No, not even self-educated. It just it's a natural talent I have.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay.
So the first time I used it without knowing, the first time I used it was at the Olympics, that I could see myself at the Olympics before I was qualified.
Really? Wow.
And with my
That's
Ironman,
power.
yeah, that's power. And visualization, your subconscious does
Doesn't
not
know the difference between real and not real, and
know.
therefore, yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And 2 years before my Ironman, I completed a marathon.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it came from, but only 3 months after that marathon, and that was 2 years before I completed the Ironman, I could see myself completing it.
Wow.
So if you can see yourself be on that stage, if you can see yourself in that
Feeling it,
period,
and
and
even
if
like
you can,
yeah.
whatever your dream is, if you can see yourself there, then all obstacles, all challenges, they will just vanish. For example, it took me months and months and months to get a bike, to find a bike where I can do the 180 kilometers of biking. But there's a big difference. Where focus goes, energy flows. So do you have focus, or did I have focus on completing the Ironman? Or did I have focus on the challenge with the bike? If you have focus on your challenge with your bike, and you think your mind starts going, it's not possible, I cannot find a bike, all these negative thoughts, then you cannot find a bike.
Yeah, because you are creating and you are constantly keep going on that path of negativity, and you cannot, it's a loop, and if you don't go out of that loop, then you will be like, no, it's a no-go.
Exactly. Whereas, because I could see myself completing, then overcoming the big task, the big challenge of finding a bike is not an issue. It must be done. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, exactly.
I must find a solution.
Exactly.
It's not irreversible. I can do it because I know I can complete. Therefore, I must find a bike so I can bike 180 kilometers. It's not up for discussion. If you have that attitude, if you have that focus, anything is possible.
Good. I need you to ask you something. So I have a picture, and I would like, simply, it's very simple, it's nothing complicated, I promise. I would like you to tell me, after you see and look at this picture, to tell me, what do you feel? Not what you think, but what you feel, okay?
Yeah.
When you look at this picture, what do you see?
I feel power. I feel I feel power. I feel invincible. I feel anything is possible.
So it's so simple as it is. You feel that anything is possible. You feel power. This is this is the key word, power.
Yeah, it's power. I feel that nothing can hold me back from achieving what I want.
Why is that? I know it's a simple question, but someone might actually think about this question. Why is that? Why do you think you can achieve anything or anything?
Because this picture, it was a picture made for a newspaper article about my Ironman. It reminds me of all the challenges, all the struggle I went to complete this Ironman. And this Ironman, as I told you in the beginning, was my motivation was just to prove that I can do this. But very soon, before I completed, my motivation was, this is so inspiring for other people. I need to do it. I need to do it as my contribution to show people that anything is possible.
So we have achieved the last section of this episode, which is more a reflection, not quite a question, but I call it a note to your past self. So if you could speak to your younger self, standing at the edge of uncertainty, what would you tell him about pain, identity, and meaning?
I will tell my younger self to have more belief in myself, and all obstacles in your life. You just lost a leg, but this and all other obstacles in your life is a part of a process that will form you, that will make you the man you are later. And it's also, if how can you be grateful? When are you grateful at the most? You are grateful at the most. Being total down will make you really grateful when your life is on top. If you don't have the downs, how can you be grateful? If you only have a life on the top, how can you be grateful?
Absolutely.
And that's also the message in my speaking gigs when I'm on stage, is you have to say thank you for the struggle, thank you for the challenges in your life, in your business life, in your private life. Not in the beginning, of course, but later. Yeah, later you will, if you look for it, later you will find a meaning with
Yeah,
this.
definitely. I agree.
And all incidents in your life, if you look at it, instead of seeing and instead of feeling this is done to you, what about this is what was the meaning about this? What did I learn? Where's my new life going? And what did the process tell me?
So it's for you, it becomes for you, not to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, two different things, just
Yeah,
for people
exactly.
to know.
Exactly. And what the hardest part, the person in my life who struggled the most was my dad. It took him 30 years to understand why it should happen for his little boy, why I should lose my leg. Because when he saw me after many years, the first time on stage, he saw the influence, the message I gave my audience, and then he saw my purpose.
It's really hard to, difficult even to accept certain challenges in life. I can't even imagine, because I don't have kids personally. It's just a choice, but I completely, I can't even think about a parent thinking about his kid happening something bad to him or to her. I mean, I suppose it's horrible. It's completely insane to ask to a parent to accept something like that, that a bad thing might happen to his kid. I don't know, but I think it's unbearable.
Yeah.
Arrived to the end of this podcast episode. Thank you so very much, Gert. Thank you. It was really a pleasure. And for someone that want to reach out to you, or from so many reasons, how they can do so, where they can contact you.
Yeah, I have social media, of course, Gert Rune, and I also have
a
a
website.
web page,
Yeah.
a website, gertrune.dk, and there you can follow me for more inspiration, and also my views on life and how you can go on even though life is really hard for you.
Thank you so very much for everything.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Today's conversation isn't about external achievements. It's about what it means to rebuild yourself. one conscious choice at a time. If Gert's reflections resonated with you, you can find him on Facebook as Gert Rune Jespersen and learn more about his work and journey at gertrunde.dk. And if this episode gave you something to reflect on, please support Rewire to Rise by subscribing to the channel, sharing the episode, and staying curious about the stories that shape who we become. Thank you for listening. Until next time, stay sharp.